Imagine yourself sitting in front of a mountain of books with the daunting task of studying them all. Sounds overwhelming, right? But what if there is a secret weapon that could help you conquer this mountain with ease? Want to turbocharge your learning process not by studying more, but by changing how you study? Imagine you're in a garden, tending to various plants. You wouldn't water just one plant continuously while neglecting the others, would you? Yet that's how many of us approach learning. We stick to one subject for hours, failing to realize that our brain, much like a garden, flourishes with variety. This is where the interleaving study technique comes into play, a method transforming how we learn, retain, and apply knowledge. A technique so powerful, yet so underutilized, it could revolutionize your learning. Interleaving is a method of studying where you mix or interleave multiple subjects or topics in one study session. Intriguing, isn't it? This is a stark contrast to traditional learning methods like blocked or massed practice, where you focus on one topic for a long period before moving on to the next. Now you must be thinking, why would anyone want to mix up their study topics? It sounds chaotic, doesn't it? Well, that's where the magic of interleaving comes in. This technique tricks your brain into thinking harder, making connections between different topics, and thus enhancing your understanding and memory retention. But that's not all. Interleaving also improves your problem-solving skills. By exposing your brain to different types of problems in a single study session, you train it to choose the right strategy to solve a particular problem. Imagine being able to recall information more effortlessly and solve problems more efficiently. Sounds like a dream come true for any learner, doesn't it? But, like any potent weapon, the power of interleaving comes with a caveat. It can feel more challenging and less productive initially, as your brain adjusts to this new learning method. But remember, the initial struggle is a sign that your brain is learning more effectively. So, are you ready to wield this secret weapon and revolutionize your study habits? Let's dive into the fascinating world of interleaving. Interleaving is not just about mixing different subjects, it's about the strategic alternation of different topics or skills in a way that enhances learning. Picture yourself at a buffet. You don't just pile on one type of food onto your plate, right? You mix it up, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Interleaving is the same concept, but for your brain, it's about feeding your mind a balanced diet of different but related topics or skills. Let's take an example. Say you're learning to play an instrument, like the guitar. Instead of focusing solely on strumming patterns one day, chord progressions the next, and scales the day after, interleaving suggests you mix these up in your practice sessions. This way, you're not just improving one skill at a time, but building a holistic understanding of the instrument. But why does this work, you may ask? Well, science has got our back on this. Research suggests that when you switch between different but related topics, it forces your brain to constantly retrieve information and apply different concepts, which enhances memory retention and understanding. This mental switcheroo significantly acting as a workout for your brain to keep it agile and strong. Interleaving also enhances memory and problem-solving abilities, making individuals more adaptable and flexible in tackling complex challenges. This valuable skill is applicable in various contexts, from work to daily life. Thirdly, interleaving prevents boredom, maintains focus, and sustains energy levels. Constantly changing topics keeps your study sessions fresh and engaging, helping to avoid burnout and mental fatigue during studying. Interleaving prevents boredom, maintains focus, and sustains energy levels. Finally, interleaving prepares us for real-world scenarios. Life is unpredictable. It doesn't neatly separate challenges by subject. Interleaving helps you adapt and apply knowledge in diverse and unexpected situations, a valuable skill in both personal and professional life. Interleaving might seem counterintuitive at first, but it's the counterintuitive nature that makes it so powerful. It's like keeping your brain on its toes, always alert and ready to make connections between different pieces of information. Now that you know what interleaving is and why it works, you must be wondering, how can I apply this to my own studies? The first step is to identify the topics or skills you want to study. These could range from math problems to language vocabulary, from historical events to scientific theories. Once you've picked your subjects, the next step is to mix them up. Instead of studying one topic for an extended period, alternate between them in shorter bursts. This might feel a bit chaotic at first, but that's where the magic happens. Let's say you're studying for a big history exam. Instead of spending hours on the French Revolution, then moving on to the Industrial Revolution, try studying both in alternation. Spend 30 minutes on the French Revolution, then switch gears to the Industrial Revolution for another 30 minutes, then back again. This forces your brain to constantly retrieve information, strengthening those neural pathways. Or maybe you're practicing piano. Instead of drilling one piece over and over, alternate between different pieces. This not only keeps your practice sessions fresh, but also helps you improve your overall skills faster. Now, it's important to remember that interleaving is not cramming. Cramming involves trying to stuff as much information into your brain as possible in a short amount of time. Interleaving, on the other hand, is about strategically using your study time to maximize learning. It's about quality, not quantity. Remember, the goal is not to make studying easier, but to make it more effective. It's easy to talk about a new study method, but the real test comes when you try it out for yourself. As they say, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. It's time to put this technique to the test. Imagine your next study session. You're sitting at your desk, your materials spread out before you. Now, instead of diving deep into one subject for hours, you switch things up. You might be thinking, this sounds chaotic, how will I keep track? The key is balance and a well-structured plan. Start slow, mix two subjects or topics initially, and gradually increase as you become more comfortable. Interleaving might feel like a lot of work and a bit uncomfortable at first, and you're not wrong. It's like learning to juggle. You're keeping multiple balls in the air, and it might feel like they're all going to come crashing down. It can even feel a bit uncomfortable. You might feel like you're not making as much progress as when you're focusing on one thing at a time. But remember, it's this very challenge that makes interleaving so effective. It pushes your brain to make connections, to switch gears, to really engage with the material. Learning isn't always about comfort. It's about growth, and growth often happens outside our comfort zones. And that's the beauty of interleaving. It challenges our traditional ways of thinking about learning. It encourages us to break away from our comfort zones and embrace a more dynamic and, dare I say, exciting way of learning. And just as we're mixing up our learning strategies today, in our next video, we'll dive into another revolutionary technique, the Pomodoro technique, a game changer in managing your time and boosting productivity. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Remember, every step you take towards improving your learning technique is a step towards unlocking your true potential. Keep experimenting, keep growing, and I'll see you in the next video, where we'll explore another tool in your arsenal for success.